Hello again, I am Jim Bob. Welcome back to Big Bud Farm. And it's a very early start today, and as you can see, we are heavily in debt. Our running costs are still increasing by a few $100s each time, so we're paying out well over $20,000 now a day in maintenance costs. Plus, it's expensive filling up our bredel. I've already fertilised fields 3 and 5 over there to get them up to stage 2. This field is already at stage 2 because we fertilised it with slurry or digestate before we planted, and then we planted using our terminator, which added the second stage of fertilisation. So this stage here will be the final stage that we need. But having filled this thing back up, that was very expensive. Plus we also have another 12,000 litres waiting in that auger there, because we've got about 16,000 litres left in our bredel here, and I don't think that's going to be enough to cover this field. So we have some more sort of fertiliser on standby that we can top this up as as and when it runs out. So let's get a worker started, get this field underway. There we go. And while he is doing that, we are going to do some logging today, because as I say, we need to make some money. So there is the Scorpion. We're going to start off loading up the trailer that we already have. So as you know, I bought the Black Sheep Modding logging trailer when that came out, and we haven't used it on the farm yet. We've obviously used it in a test video, but yet to actually use it on the farm. And so this is the first time I'm going to be using it with 8-meter long lengths as well. When I did my mod spotlight, it was on this farm using some of these 6-meter logs that we had. Now it's time to actually put it to the test with the 8 meters. I've seen plenty of people have actually been double stacking 8-meter long lengths, so I have no concerns about not fitting the logs on the back of the trailer. But this will be something of a first for me, because I've never been able to fit, ever double stacks of 8 meters on any farming sim game before. So let's drop the first one in. It'll take me a little while to get used to these new longer lengths. I'm going to try and position a little bit better. I'll have to just lift this up. I'll try and get as close to the end here as possible. Yeah, that looks a lot better. That's nice and flush. So there we go, first log goes in. Let's just give it a little nudge up against the side there. Beautiful. And we've got quite a few of these sort of thin, spindly logs. Let's kind of move those out of the way first of all. These should be light enough to pick up and move. They are. So these thin logs here, which are really spindly, the tops basically, these are going to get chipped. So I'm going to go ahead and start stacking these up here next to the chipper. And once I've done that, we'll then carry on loading up the rest of the logs. We're making some decent progress on this trailer here. We've moved the really, really thin, spindly top pieces out of the way. They're all stacked up by the wood chipper now, ready to be chipped and processed a little bit later on. As you can see, we've got a few layers of logs in place already now, so we are starting to make a bit of a dent. And I'm wondering how much a full trailer of logs will sell. I don't think we actually have a full trailer yet. I don't think we're anywhere near having a full trailer in terms of log quantity. You can see that's a bit of a bent tree there. Alright, let's pull that one over a bit. Yep, there we go. That's about as good as that one's going to sit. We don't have a huge number of logs left, so we're going to have to cut some more down to fill the rest of the trailer. That much is pretty much a given, I think. Which is fine. I've got absolutely no problem doing that at all. We're going to need to start thinking about replanting this side at some point in the not too distant future, though. What I want to do is at least get the saplings in and start growing before we start chopping down the other side, so we don't have to hang around for ages waiting for all of the trees to grow in. We can at least have some that are starting to grow while we're working on the next batch. Try and get these logs in a way I can pick them up one at a time. There we go. So, Skitty Skylines was released at midnight here in the UK. Surprisingly enough, I initially thought it was going to be released on the 16th, and then it turns out it did actually be the 15th. So it might have been a misprint, or they may have changed it. I mean, normally stuff does tend to go live on a Tuesday. I'm not sure why it's a Tuesday for some reason, but games do tend to go live on a Tuesday, which is a little odd in some respects, because the PlayStation Store updates on a Wednesday. So Tuesday just seems a bit of an odd day. Destiny was always, their weekly reset was always on a Tuesday. GTA, their reset is on a Tuesday. It's kind of one of those strange little things. I don't know why Tuesday is the first day of a gaming week. But it just seems to be like that for quite a few different games. You can see our Big Bud working away in the distance there. We'll actually check in with him in just a moment, see how things are going on. But yeah, City Skylines went live at midnight, and I spent the first the next 5 hours or so, playing around with that and having some fun. I've got some episodes recorded. Those will start going up on the channel from today onwards. So later today, quite late today, I think probably you'll see the first episode, and then after that you'll start seeing them on a daily basis. We're going to start winding Avon Colony down a little bit now. I will still keep those videos coming, but they will be a lot less frequent. We won't have them every day now. They will be sort of a couple of times a week maybe. And City Skylines will run that pretty intense for the first week or so. And then after that we'll probably knock that down to a couple of times a week as well. But yeah, really enjoying City Skylines so far. Absolutely loving the some of the options to put in there. I'm not very good at the game yet. I'm still kind of figuring it out as I go along. So if you have played it on, say, the Xbox, because that will pretty much be mirrored by the PS4 version, and you have hints and tips, then please do obviously drop them in the comments section. Always useful to get advice from people who've been there and played it already. Anyone who's played it on the PC, don't feel left out. I mean, obviously, if you have ideas or suggestions that you want to drop as well, then please do. Just be mindful of the fact that I will be playing on a kind of a stripped down version because it's on the console rather than on PC. But I will obviously welcome any advice and suggestions and help that you guys offer in the comments. And something else that's coming out very, very soon is Defenders. Netflix Defenders. I am really, really kind of excited for this. I just spent yesterday binge watching the entire run of Iron Fist. I've already seen it, but I wanted to sort of build myself up to it by watching the one I've only seen once so far, and it got me so pumped up for Defenders, which goes live on Netflix on the 18th, so literally just a couple of days away now until we get that. That I ended up started watching Daredevil again last night. Watched like the first couple of episodes of season 1 again last night, so I'm probably going to binge watch as much Daredevil as I can over the next day or two until Defenders comes out. And I'm really hoping that Netflix carries on the tradition that they've done with the Marvel stuff so far by releasing the entire run in one go, rather than doing what they've been doing quite a lot of stuff recently, and that's going episodic, you know, on a weekly release schedule. I'd much rather just get the entire season so I can sit and binge watch it. You know, when I've been waiting for a show for a while like this, you know, it's horrible to then have to sit and wait week by week for the next episode to come out. I'd rather just sit and watch the whole thing in one go and enjoy it, appreciate it, and then after a couple of days sit and watch it again and start paying a little bit closer attention to see some of the details that I missed the first time. That's just the way I prefer things. I mean, it's kind of the culture that we live in now with TV viewing. You know, I think we've discussed this many times before, but you know, binge watching has become the new norm in some respects. You know, maybe not, you know, hardcore binge watching where you burn through an entire season in one sitting, which is something I've done, you know, for years. I remember when I got my hands on 24 on DVD. This is, you know, years before Netflix streaming was a thing. But I remember when I got my hands on Netflix, on 24 on DVD, season 1, and I sat and watched the entire run in one sitting. 16 hours 20, something like that. I think it was 16 hours 20 was the total run time. Once you stripped out all the adverts, you know, every episode was around 42 minutes, something like that, instead of an hour. And the only stops I made were to change disc and go to the toilet, and that was pretty much it. Sat and watched the entire thing in one complete sitting. So, you know, this is not something that's new to me, binge watching. This is something I've been doing for the last 10 years, 15 years. Well, maybe not 15, but certainly the last 10 years I've been binge watching. Maybe not always to that degree, but you know, I do have a tendency to burn through DVD box sets very, very quickly. Just checking in with our worker here, you can actually see that we're over halfway through the field, it looks like. And we still have 11,000 litres left in the tank, so I wildly over predicted how much fertiliser we were going to use. Whenever I try and make predictions, I'm noticing on this farm that I am either massively under or massively over. I thought we would use, you know, more than a full container's worth of fertiliser on this field, and we've used about 4,000 litres so far to do half the field. So I kind of completely wasted all that money earlier where I dropped in 12,000 litres into that auger. But at least, you know, at least it'll all fit in this Breedle once it's done. So technically it's not wasted. It's just means I'm spending it faster than I needed to. But yeah, I massively overpredict or massively underpredict the count on something on this farm. Still, I don't know why. I've put in over 200 hours on this farm and still keep getting those predictions massively wrong. So, oh well, we'll let him carry on doing that and we'll get back to our logging. Alright, so we have all of our logs that we had on the ground loaded now. So I'm just going to strap these down temporarily. This second stack here, we are going to add to it. I just want to keep them secure. You can see just that little bit of overhang at the end there, but that's 16 meters of logs there, looking pretty nice. So let us quickly check in on Big Bud again. Still plodding away. Awesome stuff. Right, I need my Scorpion King. Let's reverse this thing out of the shed. Reposition the boom. There we go. That's about right. Time to start cutting down some trees in just a moment. Although first I want to try and get rid of some of these stumps because there's an awful lot of them. Just kind of dotted all over the place. And it could make some of the log placement a little bit tricky, so we need to drop our weight. Oops, no, that's the claw. Did not mean to do that. There we go, drop the weight. Pick the claw back up, there we go. Let's close that so we don't accidentally scoop a load of logs by mistake. There's our stump grinder. Okay. So let's go grind some stumps. Ooh, looks like the trailer's taking a bit of a whack as well. Must have clipped that with something. I'm guessing. Well, it can't be the Scorpion King, given where it is. It's nowhere near. I must have done it with the tractor. You can still see the Big Bud going up and down in the background there. Look. It's so nice to be able to see interaction on the fields, movement on the fields while we're not working them. We're working something else. It's so nice to be able to just look over and in the distance see stuff working on the field like that. I really do like that. It helps bring the map to life a little bit more, I think. Alright, stumps are all grinded and cleared out of the way, so now it's just time to start cutting down some trees again. Start with this line here. So let's turn on, check. We are at 8 meter cutting length. Yes, we are. Good. So let's turn the help window back off again. And I've kind of screwed up already with the way I positioned the Scorpion. Hopefully that won't be a problem going forward. Hopefully I can work around that. And then we'll put our top just there. Actually, that might work out quite well. So let's try that again. Try and line ourselves up a bit squarer. So we'll drop our main sort of logs for selling just here, and then over here we can drop the tops so that they're easier to collect for wood chipping. Let's see how this works out. If we actually separate those pieces out while we're loading, it'll slow down how quickly we're stacking and processing our logs, but it will also make things a little bit easier in the sense that there'll be no having to sort through log piles at the end, trying to pull out those really natty pieces that we can't do anything with. There we go. I think this could actually work out quite nicely. Right, so I'm going to cut down a load more trees and then we'll come back in just a moment. Well, our work are finished, but left a very thin strip, and I did think about maybe leaving it, but given how long this field is, that's going to total up to quite a bit of fertilizer that doesn't get applied, so I figured what the hay, might as well just go ahead and get it done. There we go. So let's open the lid up. See, we've got 7,101 litres left. We have just over 12,000 litres in the auger, so we're going to go and add that in to our big bud here, just so we can empty the auger, because the next time we're going to need to use the auger is pretty soon. Once this is grown, we're obviously going to need it for the harvest, so we need to get all that fertilizer junk out of it. So let's jump out and jump in. Oops. Engine on. You can see the fertilizer in there. And I didn't realise you could actually just drive an auger up to a placeable and fill straight from the placeable. I thought I'd give it a try, and it worked. So that's why I ended up with all this fertilizer inside this auger here. It's weird. Sometimes you don't try stuff, you don't think about stuff, and then an idea will come to you and you try it and it either works or it doesn't work. But I had never even considered trying that until today, and there we go, it works. So let's get these big buds back to the farm, and then we'll get back to our logging camp. Bringing our twin star up so we can reposition our log truck. Not the greatest display of stacking, you can see there, but it'll suffice, it'll do. Kind of need to move this is in the way. There we go. Let's deposit the stump grinder down there. Pick the weight back up. There we go. Now we can put the truck back in place properly. fact, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to turn the truck around. There we go, like so. Park it in our little loading area that way round, like so. We can always turn around at the end there. Right, so once again, I'm going to pick up these little leftover bits. Claw is dragging on the ground there, that's not good. We'll grab our top pieces, we'll get those sort of dumped over by the wood chipper, and then we'll continue to load our trailer up with logs, take it and sell it. Well, look at that, we have a great demand for wheat for 6 hours. Please tell me it was wheat that we did, not barley. It was! Oh, fantastic. Oh, we need that money. We desperately, desperately need that money. So, $441 is the current price. I'm going to keep an eye on that and see if it fluctuates. It's a 6-hour window, so that means we need to have sold everything by 7 p.m. But I'm going to keep an eye on that price, see if it goes up in the next hour or so, or if it starts to go down, and depending on what happens, we will either hold off and wait a little bit longer, or we'll immediately drop everything and sell every piece of wheat that we have. And that's the first working great demand of a crop that we actually have outside of wood chips. So I'm really, really pleased, especially considering how much wheat we have. You know, best part of 280,000 litres. That's 4 full containers. So yeah, really, really excited to get all that sold. It's not a great price, 441 in general, but you know, for this map, 441 isn't bad at all. And the fact that the price will not fluctuate between tips is also a huge, huge bonus. So I'll carry on logging, and I'll keep an eye on the price over the next hour or so. Alright, so we're about half an hour into the window and price is starting to drop. So let's go to real time. Let's turn this off. Let's drop everything. Gee, I need to get into the truck. Well, how's that truck suddenly spun around again? Okay, maybe this is a bug with the trailer. That's kind of weird. It was straight a second ago, and then all of a sudden, boom, it's spun around. So maybe it's a bug with the trailer as to why it keeps doing that. If anyone else has experienced that, please do let me know in the comments. I'm really curious about that. But yeah, we're going to go and basically just grab all of our grain and go sell it straight away because yeah, price is going down. So let's get our trucks, our trailers connected with the dolly, get all of our grain loaded. Where is our sell point? Is it? That's Valley Grains. Okay, so yeah, going to start loading up some grain. Here we are at Valley Grain. Up the ramp, ready to tip our first container. We're tipping. Yeah, we can just about get away with that. So we've got 30,000 from that trailer, so we should get pretty similar from the next trailer, the next 2 trailers, and then slightly less than that from the final trailer. And there we go, just fractionally less. That's kind of what we expected to see. Right, let's go get the next two trailers. Alright, we're back for our second tip here. So once again, we'll go up the ramp. Got our trailer positioned nicely there. Let's just check the pricing. You can see it's dropped a couple of dollars since we started. Let's tip away on this one here. And again, about 30,500. We'll get a little bit less than that on this one because it's not quite a full trailer. So probably 30,000, and that'll be it. No 500 or so, maybe even a little bit less. But this great demand couldn't have come at a better time. Yeah, we were practically $100,000 in debt, and now we are actually with a positive bank balance for the first time in a little while. So that's great to see. Of course, it won't last. That will pretty much just about cover our midnight expenses. It's really not much at all. So we're going to bank that just to help reduce our bank loan down by another 20 grand. So we've got $240,000 outstanding on our bank loan now. You can see here, look, if we look at our finances, you can see these are our vehicle running costs. They're going up every day, so up to just a little under $17,800. That'll be over $18,000 at the end of this day. Our animal upkeep is gradually increasing because we're increasing the number of animals that we have. What else is costing us? Fuel costs, well, that's kind of negligible. Look at that, $66,000 in seed costs. Well, that's $73,000 in fertilizer costs. Insane. We made $208,000 from selling that soybean, and we've just made $122,000 there. But field jobs income, wage payment, 8 grand yesterday, 1,700 today. Loan interest is coming down a little bit because we've been paying the loan off in small bits. So we'll be looking to drop that to around $2,000 flat, hopefully by the end of the day. But all of those expenses just keep adding up and keep adding up. So that's why we're in the financial mess we're in right now. But that's going to pretty much call it an end of this episode. So thank you all for watching. We'll be picking up with the logging and doing the final stage of fertilization on fields 3 and 5 in the next episode. And who knows, maybe we'll get another great demand. That would be really nice. We've still got some soybean left. If we can get a great demand on the soybean at the diner, or even if we get a good price at the diner, we'll probably sell all of that and end up with 0 grain, and we may even potentially sell our sunflowers. We'll see how things go. But yeah, it's time to end the episode, so thanks for watching. I am Jim Bob. We'll be back with more farming stuff in the next few days. So tomorrow will be American Outback, Friday Fed Farm, another episode of Big Bud Farm on Saturday, and of course for the rest of the week you're going to start seeing some city skylines footage appearing on the channel as well. So I hope you all stick around to see that, and I will catch you back on the farm very soon.